Never figured I'd finish middle pack, so I'm a little disappointed in myself. But you know, this has been a great outdoor experience for me. I've faced all elements out here. You know, 15 days or so of rain, whatever it was, and you know the beautiful beaches and eating and catching and eating clams out there in the water, and you know starving myself and losing weight to 20 plus pounds in about 20 some odd days that I was out here, and it's uh, it's been an experience that you know I'll never forget. You know, I've been fortunate in my career in baseball for, you know, 17 years of being torn down and torn apart and having slumps and, you know, being told that the bat girl can hit better than you and you know, having fights with teammates and so that all prepared me for situations out here socially and sacrificially, if you will. And so that wasn't such a big deal. And you know, the challenge, you know, for me personally was, you know, surviving on the island with lack of food. It was you know, trying to go out every day and trying to find food to eat in that day. You know, it was dealing with the rains that I've never had to sleep in wet clothes before, and deal with drops coming off the roof that hit you in the nose time and time again, and you know, and just really piss you off. And uh, so to say I learned something of myself, you know, just a little bit, just knowing that, you know, even though I got kicked out, I knew I could go 39 days. I knew I could survive. I knew I could live off the land for 40 days and not worry about it. And that's what I learned more than anything about myself. But you know, everything else I've been gifted enough to have come to me, you know, prior to being here on the island. So it was a great challenge, outdoor style, but socially, I don't think it was that big of a challenge for me. You know, it might be hard for people to understand, you know, the millions of dollars that I've made, the celebrity status that I've had in baseball, that I'm just a normal guy like everybody else, like the ticket buyer that goes to a ball game. I'm just like them. I buy tickets, I take my kids to games, and you know, I wash my own cars and make my own food, and I don't have a nanny and I don't have a cook, and you know, and I'm a, you know, coach of a little league baseball team, and you know, and I'm just like everybody else. So, you know, the people that were on this island, I didn't want to know that I was who I used to be. I wanted them to know who I am right now, which is a rancher and a motorcycle dealer. So, you know, all the luxuries of life that I've earned, I didn't miss. But when I walk away from this game, you know, I've been asked, you know, what I'm going to appreciate the most, and I'll probably have a more respect for food and the gathering of food. I'll have a more appreciation of how I live, even though I live like everybody else. You know, I don't live in a big old mansion with marble floors, and and I think passing along some of the outdoor skills that I've acquired here or mastered here, you know, onto my kids will be an asset for them in the future. So, you know, this has only bettered my life. It really hasn't changed it much, but it's made me more rounded and appreciate actually the Philippines too. Driving around the countryside and seeing how these people live, and you know, the beautiful coastlines. But then you go into town and these people are living out of sheds and have, you know, leaky roofs themselves, and all they eat is rice every day. And so, you know, for me personally, I've come to appreciate more of the worldly aspect of what the Philippines has to offer. And, you know, it's absolutely, it's rounded me. My name came up because it hadn't ever come up before. You know, you go through the embarrassment, you go through the worry, you go through the being pissed off, and then when it got down to being tied at the last vote, I was in a laughable shock. You know, I had a smile on my face, a snicker on my face, going, "This is ridiculous." I go out this way, and without even being prepared or you know, without even having a legitimate opportunity to try to create something to save my rear end, and then having to bring that torch to Jeff was just, you know, all in. You know, it was in auto. I was in auto mode right there. I wasn't even thinking, and I was kind of. When Jeff looked at me last time and said, you know, the tribe has spoken, I kind of had another snicker of a smile on my face going, this just sucks. And I wasn't really pissed off, but I was just laughably in shock and going, of all the efforts, you know, the 20 plus days I was here, of all the efforts that I put into trying to survive, it's going to go out this quick and this way. And I was probably more mad at myself than anything, not knowing that I should have prepared for being more of a target than I led on to believe. And you know, all that I've done on this island, I'm proud of the fact that I've been able to get through this game without pissing a lot of people off. But in the end game, which I didn't get to play much of it, you're going to end up pissing some people off. And I was kind of looking forward to that. I wanted to go out, you know, playing aggressive, playing tough, and, you know, breaking some alliances and breaking some favors that you owed. And in return, I got hit first before I got a chance to hit them. And so up until the point that, you know, that I got kicked out, I had a great time. You know, I hope it makes for a good show. And I've appreciated the people that I've played with. And, you know, sorry that, you know, I had to break a few promises, but, you know, that's part of the game. So, yeah, I'm proud of the game that I played. You know, the only similarities in this game that relate to where I've come from is you got to be able to get along with people that you don't like. I've played baseball on 6 different teams in the major leagues, and I've played with, you know, some of the most spoiled brats you ever met. Maybe I was one of them at times. But you learn that if you want to win, you still got to play with those people. You still got to deal with them. You still got to accept them at the moment of competition. You don't have to go to dinner with them. You don't have to be their friend, but you still got to work with them and be professional. And in this game, you know, I made a comment a long time ago in the game that this is a we game until it gets to a me game. And there's no doubt I needed some people that I'll never be friends with, and I'll never go to dinner with. You know, I don't hate anybody that I played with on this game, as I don't hate anybody that I played baseball with. But that's the only relationship that I can make is in life too. You know, there are going to be people you go through life with, at work, at home, that you're just not going to like. But in order to get ahead, or for all of us to get ahead, you're going to have to deal with them. And that's probably the biggest similarity. Other than that, there's nothing I can take home that I've learned from the past other than trying to work with people. Survivor does such a great job of making this show so beautiful, but it's not. Behind the scenes, this is rough. This is rough and tough. You know, we're out here as survivors, you know, suffering through lack of sleep, lack of food, and lack of the natural resources and all the luxury resources we have at home. And this is a different way of life, even though it looks so beautiful on TV. This is tough. So, you know, this game, you can't really describe to the people at home, you know, how tough living for 40 days, you know, is on an island out here. We're on the greatest beaches around the country, you know, surf and opportunities in the water to find food. But, you know, there is nothing that I know of out there, and that's the reason why I've decided to play this game. There's nothing out there that puts you in a challenging situation, in a challenging outdoor situation like this show does. This ain't easy, and people break down, people quit, people get hurt, and people walk away from this game changed like no other opportunity they've ever had in their lives. And that's how much of a challenge this game is.